Pause there. I want to come right to the congressman right now. Congressman Michael Waltz is with me. So she talks about enforcing a red line. She can't even enforce the red, white, and blue line between us and Mexico.
Right.
And that was her job.
Yeah, look, let's talk about the map. Just below Gaza is Egypt. Where is the pressure on Egypt, on the Gulf states who could write checks? I mean, you could have a release valve and set up some of these camps and move some of these civilians. But right now, Hamas knows two things. One, it could hide its 30,000, multiple battalions worth of fighters amongst this population. And they know that time is on their side because this administration is getting weak-kneed. So if their goal is to turn world opinion against Israel, this administration is just playing right into Hamas's hand. Where's the pressure on Hamas? Where's the pressure on other countries? And where is the support for Israel to eliminate? You have to eliminate Hamas. And they are willing to sacrifice their own civilians to get that public opinion win that apparently we're playing right into.
But we know the answer to the question of why. And the American people have got to get angry about this. It's because
pure politics.
It's an election year.
It's called Michigan and Minnesota.
That's right.
And Biden's political team is in full panic mode. When you have, Harris, when you have 100,000 voters in the dead of the Michigan winter that after work make a point to go to the polls to vote uncommitted.
That's right.
That has them in full panic mode. And everything they're doing right now is about politics, not supporting our allies.
If they really cared about the people in Gaza, though, that's not exactly how they would be helping them. So then you have to ask, will they be satiated in any way by this administration? Biden could do backflips on top of a pinhead, and it might not satiate them.
Well, but now you have this massive naval operation to set up a port in the middle of the Mediterranean Ocean to deliver humanitarian aid. By the way, that thing is going to be very vulnerable to the same drones, the same missiles, and the same types of attacks that are hitting our ships in the Red Sea.
Well, the prime minister also threatened to call off his senior aide's trip to Washington this week if the United States did not veto a UN ceasefire resolution today. That resolution does not call for Hamas to release Israeli hostages. Just in the last hour, the U.S. abstained from the vote, and the resolution passed. They abstained. So what should Netanyahu do next?
Well, we don't go neutral. I mean, that abstain vote is shameful. We don't go neutral when it comes to Israel. That's what like Russia and China do when it comes to North Korea, in terms of not wanting to side with North Korea, but not wanting to go against. This is it's ridiculous. And if I were Netanyahu, I would pull back his delegation.
And my team was just telling me one more time. Okay, so the national security spokesperson for the White House, Admiral Kirby, just said this is not a shift in U.S. policy. I feel like he's talking through me now. He should just call in. What do you think?
You can't put lipstick on this. This is a political pig for the Biden administration. Their base is walking away for them. But to craft geopolitical strategy against, with our ally, against Hamas, which is the ISIS of Gaza, and are horrific and have stated they will do it again. They are not interested in a two-state solution.
Absolutely.
And if allowed to survive, they will do October 7th all over again. Is shameful.
I give the voters in Michigan and Minnesota a lot more credit than this. They know that we're still supplying them weapons. They see the bigger picture. But this is also not just about this issue for those voters. It's also about electrical vehicles and everything that's going on there.
Yeah.
I so appreciate you being here in
Good to be
person.
with you,
We hit a lot. Thank you.
Right.
Come back anytime.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We are now looking, and you can see down on the bottom there, Admiral Kirby has spoken and said the United Nations vote is not a shift in U.S. policy. We've got a couple things going on this hour also that we're watching the two Trump court decisions that are going on right now. And I'm going to ask you to stay, actually. You can see we have a little bit of breaking news going on here. Major security concerns are happening right now after that massacre at a Moscow concert hall on Friday night. Let's talk about that. ISIS-K, which the congressman was just talking about, ISIS in Afghanistan, is believed to be responsible for that attack that killed more than 130 people at that concert hall. And that is the very same terrorist group that killed 13 U.S. service members during our botched Biden-driven withdrawal from Afghanistan. And Republicans are warning more attacks like it could be in our own future.
We have millions of Americans who live or travel abroad throughout Europe and Asia, embassies, businesses there. So I'm deeply worried that ISIS from Afghanistan will end up targeting Americans sooner rather than later.
The fall of Afghanistan, the way it was done, and the way we left it with no ISR capability, that intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, puts us in danger.
Their aspirations go beyond Russia and Iran. They would love to do what they did in Moscow here inside the United States. And it's something we have to be very vigilant about.
Look, again, this is why I'm concerned that I don't know if it's former or still border czar Kamala Harris, our vice president, says that she wants to enforce a red line when it comes to Israel, but she can't enforce the red, white, and blue line that I mentioned. Now it's even more dire that we be able to do that.
So ISIS is roaring back. I put this squarely on Joe Biden's shoulders. We had a base there. We had 2,500 special operators to keep a lid on all of this. And under President Trump, look, I mean, it's just undeniable. ISIS was defeated, Iran was broke, Israel was secure, and we had the Abraham Accords, peace breaking out in the Middle East. And look where we are now. The FBI director is ringing the alarm bell, and that hundreds of people on the terrorist watch list are somewhere all over the United States, and they're trying to find him. This open border is the greatest threat we've faced in my lifetime.
Yeah. And it continues to be a problem. It's not brand new, and now it's worse. Yeah. Congressman, thank you. And thank you for staying for an extra few minutes there. I really appreciate your time. All right, we've been watching the collision, as we call it, of former President Donald Trump's legal battles today.